What's with the bottle?
Shoot the other day, but from a Zulu, Fumbu, Uzageze. Ubuyanin. Okay, right, start walking. Yalunguza riding left and right, yabo, following the signs. Maga figure out since Barababa man. Korkot Loblu and all Vulalit. Superhero ke manje uyazi obvious Mkhukhu akutshela mfana ikholi yasekhaya
Othisha nabo nurse, they have all gems, abazi gems, this government medical aid scheme. So ngu nurse at a public hospital, but my sick children and I, when I'm sick, don't come here. We go to private healthcare with abelungu. I work here, I teach at this public school where some of the teachers come drunk, hung over, they don't show up, maybe they're sleeping with some of the kids. But as ngana zifundile, zifunda kuma model C. There's something really broken there.
This is the Hustler's Corner.
Hey. Yeah. Just to come, let them come see you. Come here, man. 100,000 subscribers. Come here, bruh. Come here, my man. You don't want them to see you, know they must see you, my man. Come here. 100,000 subscribers. I'm proud of you, bro. Zogala, say hi to the people. Come speak to the people.
What's happening? 100,000K, baby.
How you doing, bro?
If we can convert that into money,
It's coming.
Hey, Naitandi Mali, no, congrats to us, congrats to the platform, congrats to the Hustlers Corner, because I mean, mina ngumafiki izolo, but yes, I think this is a huge milestone, and I'm quite excited to be a part of it, and I look forward to when we hit 1 million.
Yeah,
to be honest.
The road to 1 million subs continues.
Boom.
And we've been blessed by the chillers. Shout out to the chillers, guys.
Yeah.
We love you so much. Thank you for the love. You guys, so MacG and Soul came through. Before the interview started, they were like, this is going to be your biggest episode. And they said it jokingly.
Yeah.
Well, they said it as if they were joking.
Sure.
I didn't even know what it will be. Yes, I mean, I know the guys obviously are doing really well and they're big. But I didn't think at what magnitude.
I don't even know if MacG and Soul know how powerful they are. The one thing they do know, of course, is that they have a huge reach. You know, I think they're on their way to 700,000 subscribers, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
They know they have a huge reach, but I don't know if they know that they have power. Because power is the ability to influence. If, for example, MacG says, guys, this week we're wearing slops. If you go to lectures, chillers would literally wear slops for the week and post, you know.
Yeah.
They have the power that you have, people hugging trees and the like. But Amachita did say that it's going to be our most watched episode. I'm looking forward to the numbers. Already, after like 1 week, it's been insane, the numbers that they've done. And yeah, shout out to the chillers, man. Like, I didn't know how powerful you guys are. Some of you are challenging us in the comments. If anything, for me, and Nusbuda, as a virtual Mkhukhu, as the Hustlers Corner, the fact that you guys want us to get to those type of levels and you want us to get to MacG and Saul's levels, I think is kudos to seeing us. It means that you see us, and shout out to MacG and Saul for also honoring us with their presence and their blessing. I mean, they are going to go down as the pioneers of podcasts, and we are following in their footsteps, and we're also trying to bring something new to the people out there and to our squatters. We'll never forget our squatters as well, who are also chillers as well.
Let me appreciate all of the hustlers from the first few subscribers, people who subscribed on the 27th of September 2019 when the Hustlers Corner started, from the day ones. Day ones, guys.
Sure.
Thank you, guys.
Real day ones.
Yeah, man.
Real day ones.
Thank you guys for believing Uguti this podcast would become something. Thank you guys for teasing us over the years, even when we were not putting in enough content. I mean, I'd put in 1 episode in 2 months.
Sure.
You know, I wasn't really that serious.
Sure.
But people would, that call me out. And let me not also forget Stefan.
Yeah.
Stefan, who's part of the Ria and Black Staff podcast from Everything SA Music.
Yeah.
He's also played a very big role in working on the Hustlers Corner. He's contributed so much. I've worked with him in building it for a couple of months as well. For like a year or so, yeah. We did a lot of work together. So I want to appreciate the young man for the contributions that he's had. But okay, before we start the podcast, like button. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. Click. That's why we want 100,000 subscribers.
Of course.
They always say don't fix something that is not broken.
100%.
So it's working for us to start like this and then ask our people to join the family. Let's go. Click, 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 click. Thank you. Let's go to that subscription button. Click. Don't forget to switch on that notification bell so it lets you know every time we are dropping brand new episodes. If you go to the description over there, you're going to see 5 links. The first link is of Virtual Mkhukhu, which is this podcast is going to be existing on its own platform starting from the first Monday of 2023.
Yeah.
You will not be seeing Virtual Mkhukhu on Hustler's Corner.
Yeah.
You'll have to just live on its own platform, but you must start subscribing right now. Click that link, it takes you there, subscribe. The second link, it takes you to my personal YouTube channel, DJ Sbu. Click that link, subscribe, and become a part of my family. The third link over there is Penuel's personal YouTube channel. Click that link, it takes you to Penuel's page. Subscribe, become a part of the family there. Subscribe to the Hustler's Corner. And anybody or any one of you guys that is out there looking for more fire merchandise, more fire stock, go to our website or go to the Mofire store or the Mofire shop. There's a link there for the merchandise as well. Click on it, it'll take you straight over there.
No, solid. My buzz term for this year, for 2022, is going to be human collaboration. You know, when you speak about Stefan, we had Justice, of course. I mean, looking at you as the pioneer and the visionary behind this platform, bringing me on, all the interviewers you've had, shout out to all of them as well.
Yeah.
Shout out to everyone who subscribed. Anyone who's just wanted to contribute in some way to us, sharing videos, putting people on, I think it really, really means a lot. And it's all about human collaboration. The people have managed to get us some of the interviews and some of the interviews that we're still going to have.
Yeah.
I'm quite excited about that, and I'm looking forward to it. I hope the hustlers have enjoyed having me as a guest here. They have to stomach me for another 6 months or so.
You're not going anywhere, you're permanent here.
Yeah,
Because
but
even if we're on virtual, you'll be visiting frequently.
no, of
here.
course. But I love the idea of having a specific culture for various platforms. And I think now that we've spoken about MacG and Sol and Podcast and Chill and what they've achieved, I think we're in a space now where podcasts are shifting the minds of people. Every podcast, I hope, is going to have the intellect to realize that we need our own culture and our own flavor. When people say, why are you watching this? Why are you watching this? This is what it's about. The Hustlers Corner is all about putting kids on. You know, young girls, young boys, young men, young women, old men, old women who are hustling somewhere out there, making money, pushing their story. I came in here and then we started pushing these intellectual conversations and having interviews with politicians and other people. And for some of the hustlers, they felt like it was tainting the brand of the hustlers. But we became Mkhukhu, right? And we realized, look, Mkhukhu's got its own flavor. And Mkhukhu needs to go and exist separately so that people can come here for hustlers. People can go to Mkhukhu, go blow Mkhukhu in and have intellectually stimulating conversations. And I hope other podcasts are going to take from that and actually figure out what is our IP. The one thing I think is happening, hip-hop was hijacked.
By culture vultures.
By culture vultures, by people with warped agendas. And for those of us who understand hip-hop from the 80s and the 90s, hip-hop was an institution. That's where a lot of us mastered English. That's where a lot of us understood how the world works, the system, capitalism, commercialization. And somewhere along the line, that got hijacked. And what I'm seeing now is I think podcasts are going to be the new institution that hip-hop had left behind. That gap where kids are like, I'm hungry for knowledge. I want to know where to go. I want to figure out what's happening in the world. And I think that's what we're providing. People come and queue Mkhukhu to come and get daily mental food for themselves, and I'm quite excited about the journey.
I like it. I like the fact that you're saying daily.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm a workhorse, and if I'm gonna
understatement.
I told myself if I'm gonna get into this podcast space, I don't want to be putting out like 1 episode a week.
Yeah.
I think we did say beginning of the year, I did tell you guys that I'm gonna be putting in work like crazy this year, which I did, and then we started improving to 3 episodes a week. But to tell you the truth, you're saying daily, and that's me. I want to be putting out content daily.
Daily bread.
I want daily episodes, and if possible, and if you're up to it with your energy as well on Virtual Mkhukhu, I'm looking forward to you. I'm looking forward to inspiring you.
Sure.
To take over Virtual Mkhukhu. I don't know what direction you're gonna take that podcast to, because that's your baby, but I'm looking forward to inspiring you.
Sure.
To end up creating daily content that
We
goes
have
up
to.
on a daily.
We have
because
to.
what I've seen is, after people watch us or they would watch, it was actually a beautiful experience last week.
Sure.
To have chillers coming on our platform and writing and saying, let's show off.
Sure.
Let's show off the power of the chillers. And then they gave us 100,000 views in one day.
It's insane.
I was like, what?
It's insane.
But what's beautiful is on the day, a lot of them were saying, wow, today we're getting a double dose of Sol and MacG.
Boom.
We're getting them on virtual Mkhukhu Hustlers Corner. And then at 3 o'clock, we're getting them on their platform. So they were so excited. And what I loved and what I took from a lot of the comments that people were saying out there is collaboration is key. Exactly what you always say. People loved seeing us together.
Yeah.
People loved the type of a casual conversation that we had with the guys.
Yeah.
And people loved the fact that there was no gossip or controversy that was discussed, but we still had a great episode. It still did well, which also still shows, Uguti, for podcasters out there, I also believe we don't have to be cloud chasers to have successful episodes or successful podcasts.
Yeah.
You can find a niche and tell yourself you will be consistent in creating good content and then just go for it. I don't think you always have to be about numbers or you always have to be about creating some sort of controversy
Facts.
or wanting to trend so you can get numbers. I believe what we did with this Hustlers Corner platform from the beginning was very noble because we didn't care about wanting to achieve high numbers. We said, let's start this platform. It's going to be for hustlers. There's going to be conversations or personal development type of a conversational content, whatever content it might be, but as long as it's good for somebody who's out there on their grind, pushing their dream, pushing their brand, pushing their ideas, or pushing on campus, pushing their degree or studies, whatever it might be. And I kind of felt, Uguti, this can become that space that grows to become a place for hustlers. And I'm just quite, and it seems like only yesterday when this was starting. I can't believe now we're on 100,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
With that being said, not forgetting also all of the messages that people have been throwing in there saying, guys, improve on your sound quality.
Yeah.
Guys, improve on your pictures. And we've got some good news, but I'll share a little bit later. But we've been listening to you guys. Even on the MacG episode, there were a lot of people who were saying that's a brilliant episode. We enjoyed it. But we also had some sound glitches here and there. Guys, come on, fix on your sound, fix on your lighting. And we appreciate those. We appreciate constructive criticism.
No, thanks, Buddha. I think, again, shout out to MacG and Sol. Last week, I think they crossed 370 episodes and they've got over 1,000 videos, I think, on their platform. You and I together have probably done about 20, 25 conversations, maybe with the Hustlers Corner separately outside of me. Maybe you've done another 30 or so. So we're still growing. And for people to want to hold us to that level of excellence and investment that they've gotten, I think is a great challenge and it's quite exciting. I think MacG and Sol also need to thank us, the importance of memberships. Because obviously a lot of people see 600,000 subscribers and they think they're making millions. But the guys articulated that, we're not making the money you think. We'd love to get money. So if we could get more members to come in and give us 10 Rand a month. I mean, they were saying if all 600,000 were giving us 10 Rand, that would be 6 million. They're like, we would do so much more. So it was a great challenge. And we saw in the comments as well that people were saying, thank you so much. I didn't know the power of this. And other people were saying, I've just signed up as a member because I now see the value of it. So that's kudos to us. I love the fact that we've created a culture of number one, education. This is a lecture hall where we educate. Nati, we don't have all the answers. We might make mistakes and we're learning with people. People are free. Our squatters are free in the comments to come in and say, no, that's not right. That's wrong. Actually, what's happening? And we appreciate it because we learn and then we get to teach. Number two, the fact that we're about collaboration and winning. We're not about gossip, and there's nothing wrong with gossip. If the culture of your platform is gossip, by all means, there's a market for that. If your culture is trending stories and controversy, that's your culture. Our culture is we want to work together. We want to collaborate. How can we work with the ANC, the EFF, the DA, the IFP? How can we work with black people, white people? How can we work with politicians and hip-hop artists and other podcasts? How can we collaborate to make a better world? So I love that very much about our platform, and I hope we don't lose that. Because obviously cultures can change over time, but I think we've got a special thing going, and whether our squatters are aware of it or not, I know for a fact that we are beginning to influence other podcasters to do the same, to give shout outs to the right people, to make sure that they're collaborating, to make sure that they're becoming more conscious and becoming more active in running this country, in being more active in how they run their families as well. So kudos to us, this platform, kudos to our squatters, the people we've come to interview, and everyone else that we're working with and that we're learning from. So Mina Sbuda ngiyabonga, and I know I get trolled for always thanking you, but ngiyabonga for putting me on and for giving me a platform to also showcase whatever goes on in my mind, and it's kudos to you. The last thing I want to say is the Oprah Winfrey Show is probably one of the biggest talk shows we've ever had in the world. And what Oprah did was give birth to Dr. Oz, Dr. Phil, Rachel Ray. And
Ian Van Zandt.
you know, there's a vision in that we need to learn from. And I think you've spoken about a man that put you on at a time when you were nobody. Other kids have come onto this platform. We've spoken about Robot Boy. Otio Balo and Abo Lekau have said we looked up to you. Ontlantla Lax have said, Sbuda, you guys paved the way. We need to have this succession planning mindset. Uguti, now that I've got a platform, let's say, for example, I end up running a virtual Mkhukhu as the DJ Sbu of that spot. How do I identify future talent, whether it's a young gent, a young girl, for example, put them on so that we can give birth? I can then say, Sbuda gave birth to me. I gave birth to whoever. Sbuda was given birth to. And we have this culture where we say we put each other on, and then we find a way for all of us to win. It can't just be about winning on your own, because it's not sustainable. We're seeing it now in the country with a minority of black elites who have become rich, but at the expense of the masses who are getting poorer and poorer every year. So thank you very much for giving me this platform, and thank you for inspiring me with the work ethic. I have taken from that, and I hope other people take from that, not just me. Amachita pushing more fire, amachita push a creep to amachita. But I want to say, just span amachita, span in, let's hustle. You have nothing, panda. I mean, you buy a 6-pack of more fire, you can't say, I'm unemployed, I'm sitting at home. We're showing you every day. We're speaking about online. What more do you want? What more do you want? Because we're trying to give you that daily bread to feed your mind so you can go and feed your family in real time.
I totally agree. And I also would like to thank you for your humility and just your willingness to want to share some of the knowledge that you have. And also even in being humble enough to say, hey, I don't know everything. A lot of the things that I say, you probably might not agree with them, but this is how my mind thinks. This is what I have in my mind. Yeah. And just also, ignite those conversations out there, whether abantu they come back then disagree with you or agree with you or back to gabanye. The fact that you're humble enough to open yourself up to the world, even to criticism, but raise conversations, and even coming into this platform to be sharing your knowledge, to also be, it's one thing to be brilliant and be amazing, but it's another to also have an attitude of wanting to be led. You know, and for me, those are some of the things that I've been learning from you. And that is quite an amazing character trait that you have. And I don't have any doubt that you're going very far. And that's why I love associating with you. I just can't wait to see you become the best you have to become, because I cannot believe in playing my little role somehow.
I struggle with compliments, Buddha.
I want to look back one day and be
struggle.
I'm like, wow.
People are not going to be happy with this little romance.
Type of thing, you know? And with that being said, yes, it's 100,000 subscribers now. Where to? Are you guys going to better the quality? Are you guys going to better the sound? Are you guys going to grow the team? Are you guys going to get studios? Where to? What's the vision? Yeah. The vision is to turn the Hustlers Corner into the Hustlers Corner podcast network. Basically, it's going to be a podcast network platform. The first podcast under the network being already what we've just started, the Virtual Mkhukhu, which is his baby, which is being supported by the Hustlers Corner as a network. And as we grow and we bring resources to the actual platform, those resources will then trickle down to the other podcasts that we're going to have. Yeah. We're thinking around a food podcast. We're thinking around a crypto podcast. We're thinking around a real estate property podcast. We're thinking around a financial education podcast. Yeah. So we want to teach financial education, have different people that know that space, have regulators, people that work for the government come and share rules and regulations and how that space operates, insurance, financial services, all of that stuff, you know? Same as crypto. We want to focus on crypto education. Same as real estate, property education. We want to focus on that. Same as on Virtual Mkhukhu, you've got your own vision on or of what you would like for it to become. Yeah. But what's nice is that this Hustlers Corner podcast network will become that support structure structure towards whatever you want your baby to become. You've got your own ideas, you've got your own vision. And also, let me add on another one, a music podcast. I come from the music background.
Yeah.
I'm passionate about the industry. I've got a voice or two to add. And I would like to also still play a role in becoming that social commentary voice in the music space. So I also want one of the podcasts on the Hustlers Corner podcast network to be a music podcast.
Yeah.
And all of these different podcasts is ideas that we've had in the beginning, but behind the scenes, we've been meeting different people that we're going to collaborate with. Oh, by the way, I can never forget this one. People are going to be mad at us. An African spirituality podcast platform
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
So let me give you guys some great news and say all of those have been closed, and we've got people that we're partnering with, that we're going to be working with on all these different podcasts, meaning the goal is to have podcasts, content coming out from Monday. Monday is virtual Mkhukhu.
Yeah.
Tuesday is whatever. Wednesday is whatever.
Yeah.
Thursday is whatever. All the way to Sunday.
Building an institution.
Every day.
Yeah.
Content creation every day on a
Yeah.
daily basis. And for me, that's where I see the growth. And then it's to make this space, or it's to make the network one of the biggest, not only in the country, in the world.
Yeah.
Because what I love about the internet is that it has put us on that global platform with everybody else. If Joe Biden has 900,000 subscribers, Abu MacG and Saul have got 900,000 subscribers.
Come on.
Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
Yes, because behind the scenes, yeah, YouTube pays higher if you are in America, but kuyafana.
Sure.
Banabantu abaya 900,000 abalandelayo nalaba.
Facts.
So siyafana naleziyana. There's not that thing anymore yokucabanga ukuthi ama-Americans are better than us.
Yeah.
Because we're doing it, and
We
we're
are
doing
doing
it
it.
even better. You know
We
what
are
I mean?
doing it.
So that's the mindset that I have when I Penuel.
Look, to step us, Buddha, sorry. Just a quick shout out since you were saying we're equal to Americans. Trevor Noah's Daily Show, I think, got 7 Emmy nominations. And I saw in the article that was written, it was saying Trevor Noah brings his South African charm and what. So people need to know that we have what it takes and more.
We have what it takes and more, man.
Yeah.
Look at what Amapiano is doing all over the world.
Yeah.
South Africans are just the most blessed nation, and a lot of them actually are not even aware that you guys are from the Garden of Eden, and just what you possess is just so extraordinary that a lot of us are so talented and great and awesome that we actually kind of think it's normal. It's not normal. Guys, we're actually so dope. You see it when you leave the country.
Yeah.
When you go elsewhere and people start nomming your country and start being surprised about even just us as individuals. When you start cracking convos and people start getting into your mind or even what you've done or what you've achieved, a lot of people get shocked.
Yeah.
And a lot of South Africans are dope, bro.
Too dope.
Sisters,
Too dope.
actors, intellectuals. There's just so many amazing South Africans, and I kind of feel if there is a time for us to shine globally, it's now.
Boom. No, thank you very much, Buddha. I got goosebumps when you were speaking about creating a music podcast, because immediately in my head, I just thought of like Mkhukhu, yourself, Black Coffee, Zakes Bantwini, Isomdu, Otebe, and all these amazing, look, I'm just mentioning the men, but there's a whole list of women as well. We met Umam Yvonne Chaka Chaka as an example. But having Mkhukhu or Skido and the guys sitting around tables just schooling so that if you're a young up-and-coming musician, you understand these things. And you guys are having these conversations about how the music industry has evolved, kwaito to hip-hop, to amapiano, licensing, publishing, 360 deals, how to get paid, and how to go international. Yo, I just had goosebumps just thinking about a concept like that. But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to watching how this institution comes together and the hustlers and the squatters, how they're going to learn and then plug into us in some way. I've said before, and I'm saying it again, it's a challenge to all the squatters and the hustlers watching here to find us. You guys have to hunt us down. Because I get a lot of DMs of people saying, I want to come on to Virtual Mkhukhu. We can't bring everyone on. It would be nice, but we can't. So it's up to you to take on the challenge and be like, I need to be noticed. Othio Nabolika were giving you sneakers when they were nobodies because they went out of their way to be like, I'm going to make a quality product. I'm going to go and I'm going to find Usbuda as a Groot man. I'm going to give him this pay because I know Usbuda will put me on. So it's up to you to find us. It's up to you to use the internet and tell your story. We'll pick up the trending stories. You've spoken about Tunkanyes, Indigo Coots, who I end up following.
Yeah.
An amazing young
amazing.
sister.
She holds no punches.
Yeah, so it's up to you to find us. Like, be noticed. There's 60 million South Africans. There's over a billion Africans. There's close to 8 billion human beings. Why you? For example, why me? I'd have to explain to people that, look, I didn't send Usbuda a DM and say, hey, please put me on, and they're not, oh, okay, Hozage. I had to put in the effort to be noticed, and you noticed me. So people have to be noticed. What are you doing? What's your work ethic? Does everyone say, that's how we will bring you on, and that's how we collaborate and do something amazing. And you become part of the institution. And outside of the institution, it's a matter of how do we grow these brands to become global brands. And people will speak of us in the future like the Egyptians. And they were like, there was this generation of South Africans that was just phenomenal. We don't know what they were drinking, what they were eating. Some had dreads. Some were pushing African spirituality. They changed the calendar. They put their politics upside down. They changed the legal system. They came up with new technology. They infiltrated the world and they became the aliens of the time. And people say there were South Africans that lived back in the day. Speak about the Romans, the Greeks, the Egyptians. They must speak about us in future and say there was this group of South Africans that angaz babedlani, angaz babephuzani, but I think they had superpowers. Babendize emoyeni, mabekhuluma kakuvele kuphuma umlilo. And I think that's going to be us. And like you, I'm excited about the future. And I guess it's just one day at a time, putting in the work, focusing, switching off distractions, drinking more fire to get powered up, wearing your part to in your drip to keep moving. And just making sure that you make a positive contribution in the world. I'm tired of beggars. I'm tired of South Africans being beggars. We don't have to beg. Africans don't have to beg. Like you said, we're in the Garden of Eden. There's nothing this country and this continent doesn't have. The only thing is for us to now shine empama through the internet.
You know what I mean?
Because even this is the greatest thing that you have. Now it's time for you to unlock it and become great.
So guys, we've just opened up for membership 2 months ago. Our membership starts from 9.99, 10 Rand. If you feel the type of content that you're getting from Virtual Mkhukhu Hustlers Corner, you don't mind paying 10 Rands for it. And a lot of you guys after the MacG and Saul episode from both podcasts, you guys were commenting and saying, you didn't know, you actually wouldn't mind paying 10 Rand. It's nothing because of the type of value that you get from both platforms. Go subscribe to the Chillers. I'm a chiller myself. I pay Podcast and Chill 99 Rand 99 every month. I pay 100 Rand to become a chiller. And I'm saying, become a part of this. If you feel you're getting value from here, 9 Rand 99, 10 Rand is a starting point. We've got a 39 Rand 99 package as well as another package. And other package comes with different perks. And we're still working around the perks since we still haven't figured it out yet properly. We're improving it. As time goes, the perks will become better and better. And I see one of the best perks being people being, especially the ones who pay maybe a higher fee,
sure,
being able to be able to have access to us, to have our phone numbers, to maybe once in a while even chill with us or come to the farm when we do type of broadcasts with audiences when we're doing our street food market at the farm. I would love to meet a lot of our hustlers and squatters out there, you know.
Sure.
But I would like to mention here and encourage you guys to subscribe. If you feel you always spend 10 Rand on other things or things that are useless, it wouldn't hurt for you guys to give that 10 Rand to our platform, or it wouldn't hurt you guys to give that 10 Rand to our Podcast and Chill because you're extracting value from that platform. Why not? Let's start learning that culture of being, of, you know, paying for what you think.
Ukunikela.
Mfethu. We spoke about, we had N's Roots the other day.
Yes.
He was telling us about how the lowest paying member at AfriForum is paying $10.
Yeah.
And all the way up to however amount of money their members are paying.
Yeah.
And they are religiously paying that amount of money every month. Why? Because they can see where their money is going. Because AfriForum does the work.
Sure.
And I loved what MacG and Saul were saying. If you guys were to be able to pay and watch the ads and not skip the ads and pay that 10 Rand every month. And for those who can afford, pay that 100 Rand, like I can afford 100 Rands every month. There's even higher packages. If you can afford and you do that and we give them that money, they're going to turn Podcasts and Chill even into a bigger and a better platform.
Yeah.
Because now they've got the money coming in, they can make the resources better. And as they said, that they started that thing for the passion. You know, they didn't just get into starting Podcasts and Chill for the money. Because actually, even in the first few years, there was no money.
Yeah.
And you heard him, MacG, at some point he wanted to give up.
Yeah.
And I remember that conversation
Yeah.
I was having with him. I was actually in Rosebank. It was at night. I was chatting to MacG during lockdown. And he was just laying it down and explaining to me how difficult it's been and how hard it is, and just this thing is not taking off, etc. And just to see what it has become right now, it's such a great feeling that I'm as I was saying earlier, that I always like being one of those guys who feels good to say I was a part
of the journey.
You know, contributing.
I was a part of the journey.
You know what I mean? And
I was
say,
there.
Keep going.
Sure.
And I whispered positive things into his ear. I played my role to say, keep going, bro. You're on the right spot. And as I did say on that episode last week as well, that actually we were meant to start Podcast and Chill together. You know, but I love the fact that he went ahead and did it alone. And as I was making that example as well about Tear Gas, at some point their demo tape was at TS Records, and if maybe they would have been signed by TS Records, they probably would not even have become as successful as they would have become.
You never know.
I don't know, but if I would have worked with MacG, would Podcast and Chill still be as successful as it is? Probably not, because at some point I was probably be very busy.
Sure.
At some point we're probably gonna I don't know.
Sure.
But all I know is that I'm happy for my brother, and I'm happy that they're making a success of that thing. And what they're doing is then they're inspiring a whole lot of other younger people out there to say, guys, here's another way of how we can all hustle and build platform for ourselves, you know?
What's beautiful speaking to MacG is hearing the authenticity and the genuineness in what he's doing. Number one, he's very big on that. He lives for the chillers, which is something that our politicians have lost, being a servant leader. He says he's not a leader, but he's a leader. They're leading with the soul. They're like, we do it for the chillers. As long as the chillers believe in us and are guiding us and are funding us, we'll keep going. Number two, he's not selling out. It's not about money. He's willing to lose big deals if it's not in line with what the chillers want. Again, something our political leaders have seemed to lose. And lastly, to what you were saying about the membership, number one, shout out to Nota. I saw that he donated some money in that episode.
Yeah, thank you,
And I know
Nota.
he religiously donates to podcasts because he believes in them.
And also a lot of other people who donate. I saw I even saw chillers donating to our platform. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, guys.
I also saw
Very
a lot
much.
of chillers who then started subscribing to our platform. Actually, by the way, because of that episode, Abu MacGyver, we've got 11 new paying members.
Jeez, that's
just
proper.
from that episode.
That's
so
proper.
thank you guys, and welcome
Thank you.
to the family. Thank you.
Thank you. And going back to our politicians, you know, and maybe this is a conversation we need to have about the future of this country. Abu MacG, when you ask about politics, they're tired of waiting. They're like, we can provide our own solutions. They were saying if people could give us more money, we can build more. They've created the chillers market. They're going out there saying, if we have a network and a community of chillers, we can buy from each other as chillers. I'm looking for something. Is there a chiller that provides that thing? And that's essentially what we're trying to do, or what we want to do. If you give us money, we can serve you guys in a better way. We're not thinking I'm a president, I'm a politician, I'm going to use this to negotiate a big deal with van der Merwe. We're saying, guys, how can we solve our own problems? How can we wear our own brands so that we can become somebodies in this world? How can we help you guys? You're struggling with school fees. I may not have the money, but I have a product that you can push, and not only will you pay your school fees, you'll be able to start making money sustainably to feed your family. You know what I mean? So what they are doing, what we are trying to do, what those that have the same wavelength as us are trying to do, I think is incredibly special. We need more people like Podcast and Chill, like the Hustlers Corner, like Petrol Mkhukhu, to say, okay, so I've got a platform, I've got people that listen and follow. Maybe they're giving us money. How do we take this money? We serve them and their interests. We look at the problems on the ground and we say, you guys are struggling with this. I think with a little bit of money you've given us, like AfriForum, let's take that little bit of money and help build an institution. Let's build studio space. Let's create homegrown. Do you have a food business? I don't have one. Come to homegrown, for example. Come find the food stalls there. You don't have one, I'll span. Come there, speak to us. Let's see how we can get you and go and meet those people and say, I want to be involved. I want to collaborate with you and help you sell. How Mtanam, thank you so much. I've been struggling. I'll help you sell. And you'll tell a beautiful story one day of collaboration because we created these platforms with 10 rand, 100 rand that you guys are giving us. If we are not going to be the solution, it's not going to change. You know, I wanted to speak about politics. I don't know if I'm allowed to.
Yeah, bro,
I don't know if I'm allowed to. So,
of course.
You know, in the last couple of weeks, a lot.
I just thought of MacGyver hearing me saying flip and something. He's like, this is the only podcast where they don't swear.
MacGyver, so one of the things I was poked on is MacGyver's prayer. where he poked at me.
I think you forgot your name or something.
Jesus. Anyways. No, solid. So
Politics.
the last couple of weeks, if not the last couple of months, if not the last 2 years with COVID, the country's just not been feeling lekker. South Africa in particular. We're not happy with the rampant corruption. Obviously, there were stories of Zuma and the Guptas. After that, there was the 500 billion rand COVID relief. Then there was issues with the health department. Then there were stories about the World Health Organization wanting to infiltrate our sovereignty. Our president being caught with foreign currency at his farm. We had tavern killings, which people don't understand now. Why are there mass shootings? Not just America. Mass shootings in taverns, especially where there are young children. Ubheki is shouting at people. A lot of people seem to be quite upset with the African National Congress, in particular, the ANC, the governing party. We've had Herman Mashaba here with Action SA. We've obviously had Abo Ernst, who are not a political party, but AfriForum, and we have extended an invite, and we're looking forward to members of the EFF, members of the ANC. I know I've personally extended invites to some of them. I've extended an invite. I hope we'll get him on. Gaten McKenzie. We're open to learning from them and to having conversations because people are not happy. And a lot of people are waiting for 2024. We understand that Twitter is not South Africa. So the 14 or 19 million people that are on Twitter won't necessarily impact what happens at the ballots. But something has to change. In Sri Lanka, the country went bankrupt. In Sri Lanka. By bankrupt, it's a company that's run out of money and no one is willing to loan you money. South Africa currently is running afloat because we can still siyoboleka. Masizo IMF, World Bank, which we get angry about. Siboleka imali ngoba sinayo. Grants, half of the country, almost 30 million people are on grants. Whether it's the 350 relief, which is 10 million people, or it's the child grant, old age, disability, which is another, I think, 18 million people or so. We're in trouble. Our economy is bad. People don't have jobs. We've only got 5 to 10 million people that have jobs at any given time. The bulk of those people don't pay tax. Only 3 million people in a country of 60 million people are actually paying tax. So the country is running on fumes. And on top of that, the ANC is trying to privatize the Eskom, which is meant to be our right to electricity. We've got issues with water in some of the major metros. Crime seems to be going up, and they don't seem to have a handle on that. So
Petrol is going up.
Petrol has gone up. Food has gone up. And what's funny is the South African Reserve Bank published that inflation is at 6.5%.
Sure.
But if you look at the increase of prices of food, it's 10%. But if you're saying 6.5, why are we seeing, which means someone out there is pricing more than what's meant to be happening. People are angry. And we don't know come 2024 if the ANC will eventually lose a bit of power. I don't know if Abo Cyril and the guys are actually doing it intentionally. Because sometimes the way they don't address us, it's like there's an intention. Apartheid government, before they handed over power, one of their conditions was that they're going to stay in parliament to Mandela while they do a handover. Number two, a lot of them made sure that they held on to the economy. So that even when the ANC fully took over, they still held the crown jewels and the core of how this country functions. So I don't know if some of the new black elite sat with the old Afrikaner white elite and said, listen, we're going to let you guys come in, we'll bring you to the table, and then once you guys are in, we'll give you a share of the economy. Then you can hand over this broken country to the next idiots, and then you'll control the economy with us. So Mhlambo Ramaphosa are saying, let's privatize Eskom to our friends, black and white rich friends, to our family members or Patrice. Let's privatize or SAA. Let's privatize so that if the EFF and Action SA, a DA take over, they'll have nothing. We'll own everything. Ramaphosa will own Eskom, Patrice will own SAPC, Ubanban will own.
Oh, do you think that just might be intentional?
I don't know.
Okay.
I just know that the apartheid government, when they handed over this political power, they kept the economic power. And that's why Abantu Abamnyama feel like they still can't move. So I don't know if the ANC government, who sat with Labo Ngamla, because they sat and they became friends, board of their companies, maybe they were like, guys, this is how it kind of works. So when you guys are ready, because you can see the country's running on autopilot, it's bad, there's no money. Before the ship sinks and it fails, burn and break it and then jump ship. And then when they vote in the new political dispensation, be like, we weren't there. Yabo Manjo Ramaphosa, when they come into power, they're like Zuma's 9 wasted years. Or Zuma, when they came in, they were like, but Thabo Mbeki, angit babe sebenza nabelu. Or Thabo Mbeki, but phela uMandela saying, but everyone is constantly passing the buck to someone else. So come 2024, I don't know if South Africa will get a coalition government. What I do know is that I'm going to put in as much effort as I can into, number one, trying to politically educate as many people as possible to understand what voting means. I think that's fundamentally important. Number two, understanding where our tax money comes from and where it goes and what's actually meant to happen with that. Number three, I know MacGyver, when we were at ENCA with JJ Tabane, was saying he doesn't care about voting, and a lot of young people don't care. We need to pump as many people to vote as possible to understand the importance of voting. Not just on the ballot, because that's one way. The other one is voting with your money. We need to start conscientizing people ukuthi mangithenga more fire instead of Red Bull. What does it mean for me as a South African? What does it mean for my grandmother and my grandfather if ngithenga more fire over Red Bull? If I buy iPatu over Nike, what does it mean to this country? If I buy from this Paza shop versus this Paza shop, what does it mean? People need to get conscientized and become active citizens. This is the solutions that I think we're meant to be speaking about. How do we drive those solutions into building a better country? Because the leaders seem to not care. And I'm going to say it openly. They seem to just not care at all. They're comfortable. And I've said before, black political leaders in this country, doesn't matter which ones you follow, maybe outside of a few, Abo Zuma and them. I think Zuma lives in a IFP municipality in Nkandla. Most of them live in DA-run neighborhoods. They live in white neighborhoods. They send their kids to white private schools or top white public schools. They have medical aid, which is only 10% of blacks have medical aid. They have medical, even Otisha Nabo Nest, they have all GEMS, Abazi GEMS, this government medical aid scheme. So ngu nurse at a public hospital, but my sick children and I, when I'm sick, don't come here. We go to private healthcare with Abelungu. I work here, I teach at this public school where some of the teachers come drunk, hung over, they don't show up, maybe they're sleeping with some of the kids. But as ngana's fundila, zifunda kuma model C. There's something really broken there. Wandile said something very important, and I saw Julius Malema was in Ibiza. Ibiza with Mazotti. I think it's Mazotti, one of the initial founders of the EFF. Adriano, I think Mazotti, who's in tobacco. His son was I think it was his son, but one of his kids was getting married, and he was there, and some South African celebrities were there as well. Andile was speaking about Julius and the EFF, and that they had a Biko oath when he was there, which ended up being removed when the EFF got into parliament.
Sankara oath.
Sankara oath, my apologies, you're 100% correct. A Sankara oath, which Sankara was also inspired by Sheikh Guevara, which was saying, Guti, if I'm a public servant and I'm in parliament, I have to live with the people. It can't be that ngene parliament ngqoke overall or impahle egqoka omama bama domestic worker, and I speak this, our people and the poor and the what, but you're still living a soft, comfortable, elitist life. It's beautiful, and I see a lot of people defending it, but to what must happen, they must get paid well, and I'm like, you are somehow defending part of the brokenness of this country. Our leaders live in as part of the elite minority in this country, and we expect them to care for the masses. Just last week, Brentarian Estate, which people have never heard of, it's part of a bigger residence in Pretoria, where the president, the deputy president, and some of the cabinet ministers live. It never gets load shed, never.
Is it?
So when they live there, they don't feel what you're feeling.
What we feel.
When you are going to Ekrisani Paragwanat and there's queues and so they don't know what that means. When you're like Amanza Weko, they don't know what that means. When you're like, hey, they chilling at nice hotels like this, having lattes and hot chocolates and having fat laughs with their mates and asking for a croissant and muffins. They've become so detached. You know, and there's nothing wrong with that as a person. Hustle hard, work hard. But you are a public servant. MacG is not coming on a platform saying, yeah, but this is my money, I earned it. He's saying, this is money given to us by the chillers. And I understand that the chillers might say they're struggling. And we're saying, let's create a market, guys. You guys don't know where to sell your products, let's do it. DJ Spoo's chilling on the Hustlers Corner saying, guys, bring your local products. Come to Homegrown and come market your products. Go to Twitter. Even though Twitter is a value. Go to Twitter, tag me. I will retweet your products. I will be the public servant. Who's paying you to do that? No one. Who's paying you to? No one. Because you understand that if I help my community and my people, they will make sure that we don't have beggars and criminals in the street. They will make sure that, oh, mama balambi. We don't have to constantly seize, oh, mama ngoba ayahlupheka. But we've completely lost that. And what we're doing now is, and I get bashed for saying I'm God, but we're idol worshipping politicians who are not serving the people, who care about themselves and who are hypocrites. All they do is they want to make enough noise so that the right, rich people, whether it's white people, black people, Indians, they come through and they say, oh, we've got billions, we will sit with you and we will fund you. Cyril Ramaphosa was having a conversation with Boris, who's now resigned as UK Prime Minister, you know, having discussions about our energy situation. In England, they're speaking of us as a third world country and what must happen with South Africa, like we're children. Which means our politicians, when they speak out, they're busy laughing with the Joe Bidens of this world. Should now abasiboni. And if mabe ngasiboni, then mhlambe nathi kumele singababoni. And not only do we potentially need a coalition government, not only do we need political literacy, for me in particular, I think it's time that we completely dismantle this Roman Dutch law. You know, we've had Mkhukhu Nsingiza, we've had other African spirituality leaders. We're hopefully over time going to have people like Joshua Maponga that are going to come here. And we're going to speak about what they call decolonization. How do we create a legal system that is actually fair and just? And that is not dependent on how much money you have. Umuntu onemali can pay bail just as a small thing. That means you can go and sleep at home. Mina mfethu ngiyahlupheka. You and I committed the exact same crime. But you happen to have money, so you will sleep at home and I will sleep in jail. You will get to Talimpof and I'll get to Advocate D4. And Talimpof, amajaja, amsaba, whatever, I don't know how it works, but you will get a fair trial and you might even escape murder. Mina izintwana yaselokishini engazi nokhuluma kahle English. Yeah, your honor, yeah, I'm not sure. Yes, your mina ngoba ngislime singenamali, mina ngizohlala ejele mina. That's not a just system. We speak about a constitution that says we are equal before the eyes of the law, but that's bullshit. There's no such thing. We've seen with Jacob Zuma, as much as Ngumthandu Baba, drag on trials year after year after year after year because he has the financial backing to keep pushing these things forward. Cyril Ramaphosa right now with these scandals facing him, things are being pushed out. Everyone else that has money. But doms, I'm a South African, vote because it's imali tax. That is not even the government's money. It's our money. It's our money to serve. AfriForum is taking white Afrikaners' money and other black and other people that are donating, and they're building universities that are for skills. They are cutting grass and they're doing neighborhood watches in their communities. Public service, something that our politicians have, frankly, they just don't give a fuck. And we still worship them. No, guys, we must, what? No. So the solutions need to come to us. Masita mandla awethu. We need to mean it. We need to get the power back. And it starts with liberating the mind, educating the mind, and saying, we are going to be the solutions that we want. And it needs to happen through platforms like this and the institutions that we're building.
When money is your motive, you'll always be lacking. But when purpose is rooted in service, money will chase you. You will never lack because you're chasing purpose, significance, doing something of value into this earth, changing lives, serving, being of value to other people, being for your people, and not being selfish and just having a mindset of me, and just enriching yourself and your few friends and just your family. Are we ever going to be those people that change our mindset to want to preach, promote love, preach, promote looking after ourselves, becoming one, becoming united and serving? clearly our politicians, as Penuel is saying, we've seen it. We've been seeing it for many years. But a lot of them really, it seems like they don't care about the ordinary people on the ground. I think the type of life they're living with their bodyguards and the big cars has become so unfair, because where the country is right now and the amount of poverty that we're experiencing, especially young people in the township, I don't think it's still fair with the amount of perks that politicians get. Exactly what you were talking about a little bit earlier, what Andile Mkhukhu spoke about when we hosted him here, and when he did mention that when he was still at the EFF, in the beginning they had that Sankara oath. Things like the Sankara oath, do you think can be something that can be exercised by the future, let me not even say future, like the current government, the ANC, is that something that can be passed into law?
I didn't finish speaking about Sri Lanka. So Sri Lanka as a company went bankrupt. We're still held up by debt. They don't have petrol. They're going to get petrol end of July if they're lucky. They don't have electricity. They went and they stormed the president's residence. There were pictures of them in the presidential treadmill.
Presidential bedroom.
They wouldn't let the president leave the country. Tried to go to the airport. They shut it down. I think someone may have mentioned, I don't know if it's true, but he's currently in the Maldives, the president of Sri Lanka. He may have left on a boat. The people are fed up. I hate this concept of marching. I hate it so much. Nothing to our national shutdown. We must shut down the country. We must riot. I think we're smarter beings and we have better tools to do than that. Singapore has done it. China has done it. This thing called meritocracy. We're not ready for it as a country, and some of us need to begin introducing these concepts. Meritocracy is saying that we take the most capable person and you put them in those positions. So if you have been in the music industry for over 20 years and we are looking for a minister of arts and culture, I would rather take you than the next guy who's just good at speaking, a great orator like Barack Obama. The people of South Africa deserve an arts and culture. Hey, uyakhuluma lo mjini. Usbuda understands music inside out. He knows the struggles of artists out there. So meritocracy, if you look at Xi Jinping in China, he's extremely qualified. If you look at some of the leaders in China, they have served at every single level. By the time they get to the top, they have served and they understand what needs to be done. We need meritocracy. We also need local leadership. Gayton Mackenzie is showing it. Unhlanhla Lux and the Soweto Youth Parliament and Operation Tutula are showing it. They are saying we want to localize tenders. We want the service of our neighborhood to be here with our people. We want to solve our own problems here. We want the power back with the people. Give it to us. We're seeing it happen with Orania, where currently 50% of their power during the day, they can supply through solar. They don't need Eskom. They're now going for the other 50% at night so that they fully get off-grid. Those are solutions. So if we're going to praise politicians, Ombalula who tweet, Umbedo, or Tito Mboweni who say we need a state what, and then get into parliament again, and then keep quiet, and then come back, that's not going to take us forward at all. They might be scared, they might be threatened, there might be something they've seen at their level. They might have been like, because one of the things I wanted to say when you spoke about the Sankara Oath is, we've had the Freedom Charter, which was like the Animal Farm list of this is what we shall do. We've got the Constitution, which I personally think actually needs to be dismantled in this country. Our Constitution was drafted for a perfect country. It's idealistic. Because some people are like, no, our Constitution is fine, it's the implementation. I'm like, if it was fine, you shouldn't even be saying if only. But if you look at, we need a constitution where the people actually have a say. This is what we want. If the people of South Africa, as potentially wrong as they may be, because we claim to be a democratic country, if the black masses say we want isiZulu to be the official language, then that's what it will be. If we say Abelungu must have all their land taken back, that's what it must be. It can't be that an intellectual who Penuel on a doctorate from London, who's what guys, you must understand that that there's a balance and the global economy. That means it's not a democracy. Sitshelen guys ukuthi hayi siyaxolisa abafethu akusi democracy ngoba nina nazi ni idom. Ithini ongqondo ithini esazi sizontshela ke. Sivoteleni and then we'll do this thing. That's what needs to happen, but this country is not ready for many reasons. One of them being we don't have meritocracy. I know catered deployment is one of the issues that some of the opposition parties have. Catered deployment, we don't have meritocracy. We're not ensuring that the right people are doing the right work. Not just at the highest level, at the lowest level. If you look at the quality of nurses, the quality of teachers, the quality of police officers at those levels. Angizange phase grand esgele ish ngidinga ispan awuthi ngisale sengincika la emaphoyiseni. It's not really what you wanted to do. You were talking about being driven by passion and purpose. Umuntu becomes a teacher because they couldn't get into medicine. So bathola ibhasari nyanya kuyofunda teaching. Usiyafundisa but they don't want to be there. That's why they're always on Instagram eklasini and they're like ish ngizongimoshela inzipho nifunani. Awufuna ukuba honest ayi baba manje umuntu wakho. Mama, why are you there? And in this government we have now, in this country we have now, we don't have a performance measurement system where after you've been served by a nurse, a traffic cop or whatever, you rate them. And that rating gets seen. Nangashu Baba, your service is bad. We're going to have to let you go. We can't pay you mhlampe bonuses. You guys did well this year. We can't pay you bonuses. Your service is bad. There is no accountability. You show up at school, you don't show up, you're protected by SADTU and other teachers' unions. You do this, there is no accountability at all levels. That's why some people are like, we need a dictator like Paul Kagame or Rwanda. But it starts at home. It starts with you. Do you hold yourself accountable? Uyachima. Are you reading? Are you watching Virtual Mkhukhu and Hustlers Corner and saying, I want to be a better human being? Are you buying from black businesses if you claim to care about being black conscious? Or are you buying from white businesses that go and capture your black politicians? Missing your wonder how kanja much. You guys are the ones supporting what DSTV or Banbani, who then turn around and capture your politicians. It's not rocket science. So I think we need to hold ourselves accountable, all of us. We need to hold our family members accountable and build strong family units. We need to break down everything. And for those who are lost and scared, shame, we can't expect everyone to be brave and to be smart. It's tough. I've seen a need for leadership. If the Hustlers Corner is your leadership and it makes sense, that's where your money needs to be. That's where your voice needs to be. You need to be like, I'm going to find Usbud and I'm going to do whatever it takes to support this guy because I can see what he's doing for us. I'm going to go and find Podcast and Chill. And I'm going to say, I'm going to find MacG and Soul. I'm going to fund them because I see what they're doing for us. I'm going to go find Untitled Chapter. I'm going to find Andile Mngcitam. I'm going to find the people who are in line with what I want. But they seem to be brave. So instead of giving my money to this and that other rubbish and supporting this and that other, I'm going to follow these guys because they seem to be the leaders that we need for the future. Support us. Let us fuck you over in the future and be like, guys, Zama, it's time for new leadership. And leadership has to move out the way. It cannot be. I'll speak for myself. Penuel, 36, 6 my goal in raising my children, my eldest being 11, my role with my kids as they get older, they need to be trained by myself and everyone else I put them in, everyone I open them up to. They need to learn how to conquer me. I'm going to tell them your purpose in life is to conquer me as your father. If I have a brand, More Fire, you need to very quickly figure out how I run this business, how I fundraise, how I get it to market, how distribution works, etc., etc. You need to become better than me. And then at a seating, meritocracy, at a seating, everyone must see, and you must see, Baba, it's time for me to take over. But you're 18, yes, but I'm stronger than you now. And I do better for the company. If I want this company, this family to succeed, I need you guys to conquer me and take over. It can't be that when my kids ask, Baba, le company Baba, wanna come to a meeting? Later on, when I'm an old man saying, Richard Maponya, 95, is cocaine, you can see what's going to happen. As soon as I die, everything is over. To manje babu Mlothswa kwenze njani? Hey labafana man yazi abasebenzi thina phela sasirhereze etradini. Why didn't you do that for your kids? No, we must let kids be kids. Babefunda phela kule ikolo zabelungu, babe nama children's rights. It's stupid. The ANC, I've said before, missed the chance where Umalima said, I'm ready to lead. They were meant to be like, Qhelani, nangumfana that's ready. He's a ANC blood through and through. He understands the Freedom Charter, nationalization, the history of this country, the political game. Let him lead. Bamvalela ngaphandle. They've done the same with Nhlanhla Lux and all these other guys. Or Andile, let the guys lead. Because what's going to happen is we're going to destroy them. And I've said before, we don't know what type of animals we're dealing with. We've seen coups. We've seen Arab Springs. We've seen leaders be assassinated. And the Russians don't play games. You can go into exile. Go to the UK. Go to Spain. Khona abantu that will find you where you are. Because izinja. Ezithi tonight fuck sizomcisha thina simncenganga. So you must just be careful. Succession planning, meritocracy. Groom your kids to take over so that you can retire. Oh, Spuda, I retire now 55. I know my daughter's taken over a business. Ungithumela dividend. Update and just nokushama video call. Hey dad, you know the business is doing well. We've just expanded into Dubai and to like, oh no, that's amazing. Can I give you some advice? Sure, go for it. I mean, you're the godfather of the business. That's great succession planning, and that's being a visionary and having a plan for your family, your community, your country, and the world at large. And I think that's what this country needs. And njoba ngisho, if you're a leader, get louder. If you're a follower, follow the right leaders and be a good leader that holds them accountable, pumps money, skills, resources. And when you're needed to show up and be like, Baba, wherever you want us to go, samasochako. Songena na wimpini. Sobona phambili.
Servant leadership. We have to serve. And it has to trickle down to ordinary people on the ground.
Has to.
I watched the video. I don't know when you did it. I think it was a few weeks ago when you were talking about ordinary civil servants on the ground, where people are just not happy with where they're working. They don't take their job seriously. They're always looking irritated. They don't love their job. They're not servicing people well. You go to the Department of Home Affairs at Jozi or Relokshin Lako Kamaspala. You're, in a queue. You get to the front of the window after you've been standing there for like 2 hours. When you get to the window, hey, lunch. So we're sinborn. And just the attitude of people just being angry and not loving their jobs. I think leadership of the country is very important, because the type of leader that you have as a country, it trickles all the way down to different departments, all the way down to ordinary citizens.
Yeah.
And we don't have a leadership problem in South Africa alone. I think it's a whole continent, bro.
Yeah.
The other day I listened to Ubab Joshua Maponga saying the very same land that our ancestors were raped, they were tortured, and they were killed, and the land was taken, they were defeated.
Yeah.
And their land was taken. Now, for us to get it back, we have to get it back using the Roman Dutch law.
Yeah.
Using English to negotiate our land back. Ngenging, negotiating, talking for decades and decades to come. Others die, others come, others die, others. All these years keep going. Maponga was so angry that day on that video. He was even saying, "Flip and take this land."
Boom. Malima said that at some point.
Take this land.
If you see land that you like, occupy it.
And obviously, when you say such things as well, there is a certain way in how it must be done. No, we're going to be like a Zimbabwe. No this, no that, no that. I think we need leaders that are brave.
Boom.
To say, good, no, guys, we can't be living in a continent that has got so many minerals. South Africa alone, bro, has got over 50 minerals. There's ferrochrome, there's diamond, there's platinum, there's gold, there's amalat, there's just all sorts of different minerals, the whole continent.
Yeah.
Nigeria at some point, it was the largest supplier of oil globally. One of the top 3 largest suppliers of oil globally.
Sure.
If you go there right now, it's crazy how we have been captured and our minerals are just always being taken away from us to go overseas, only to come back and be sold to us at a flipping astronomical price.
Facts.
It's crazy because we don't have the right leadership that is intentional. African leaders need to say, I thought it was a great opportunity during the lockdown when the Madagascan leader said, we've got Umhlonyane.
Sure.
We've got a cure for this thing.
Boom.
I was so excited and looking forward to other African leaders that were going to join him. But what happened?
Kwaga.
And then you're like, oh, wow, the West is still in control. The West has got our leaders like this. Oh, wow. And then a couple of months later, the IMF gives us this amount of money. And then a couple of months later, there's corruption. We don't know where that money has gone to. And then it just keeps happening and happening and happening. And we keep on referring back to history to talk about the great leaders that we had that were assassinated. Where are those leaders right now? In the meantime, as you were saying as well, we've got a problem of our leaders not wanting to let young people come into the fore and shine and lead.
Yeah.
And maybe let them be behind the scenes and just mentor, guide, encourage, and let young people with their energy do their thing, bro.
Yeah.
I'm very optimistic about our country. I really do think we're going to be living in the most amazing country, and I'm still so positive about South Africa. I do know a lot of people watch news. We read a lot of newspapers. We are always complaining. We are on Twitter, which is good. We have to keep or hold our political leaders into account. We have to hold them accountable,
We
bro.
have to keep speaking.
But I am one of those people who's so optimistic about South Africa. I really do think as well, there's a lot of great and amazing, sharp, bright minds. And those minds are young.
Yeah.
And they're coming. And a lot of them are not even waiting to be elected anymore. They're just emerging.
Boom.
You're making an example about people like Abon Tlantla-Lax.
Sure.
Nobody elected that guy.
At
That
all.
guy just decided, this is what I'm going to do. Gents, let's go immobilize his friends and what they were doing during the unrest, protecting Maponya Mall, etc.
Sure.
Young people like that who are not afraid to say, as much as we sharp, we're not only sharp here, but we are also on the ground.
willing to work.
We are willing to work. And siyabathanda bogogo bethu, siyathanda ingane zethu zaselokishini. We will be on the ground. We will be there each and every time when issues are raised or when things happen in our community. We will raise our hand and speak truth to power and hold these politicians into account. But guys, leadership.
Yeah.
Leadership, you guys, it's your future. These guys are not going to be around here to live in this country that they're making decisions for. A lot of them, they're in their 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
And Abu Baba Betu, Abu Mama Betu,
Yes.
we are humbled by them and we acknowledge that they fought for us back in the day.
done a lot of great
They did
things.
their thing. They did a lot of great things.
Yeah.
But as Usbu, I can bring the Hustlers Corner or Imo Fire up to here.
Yes.
But to go to where I wanted to go to, I might not have the capability to take it there.
Yes.
But if I'm able to bring in a Penuel, if I'm able to bring in other people to come in here, they can run with this thing because they're young, they've got the right mind, they've got the energy, and it's the right time because I'm still alive. I'm still able to whisper in their ear and guide them and let them run with this thing and take it to where it's supposed to go to.
Yeah.
So this is a call to our leaders. I think when you guys see this as politicians out there who are watching this episode today, the voices that you're hearing here today is not just a representation of this podcast. There's millions of those voices all over the country that are saying, let young people lead. Let's have a different type of leadership. Let that leadership trickle down all the way to ordinary people. Everything seems to not be working. Iy'teshi ezayisebenza la ngiseseyintwana Ekasi nangihamba ngetrain ayisasebenzi.
Yes.
Iy'poro zivithikile zimoshekile.
Yes.
You've got institutions. I mean, I went to Mafikeng the other time going to a wedding. Shout out to Sir LSG and his wife Ospales, and congratulations on your new baby, guys. I went to their wedding. My heart was so sore seeing what Mafikeng has become, bro.
Yes.
Mabatu used to be like, yo, bro. Mabatu used to be the place, bro. I remember the 60s party. Shout out to Seleko at the time. I remember used to have that farm and just how amazing and beautiful Mafikeng and Mabatu was, bro.
Yeah.
Even their casinos. If you go to Moretele Sun in Soshanguve, there used to be a beautiful casino. There used to be a place called the Carousel, bro. Beautiful, beautiful place. Because you even go to some township municipal offices right now in 2022, they are dilapidated. The walls are cracked. It's like everything is falling apart in the country.
Yes.
But then again, there has to still be that mindset that say, guys, there's still a future here.
Yeah.
Let's fight for our country. We can't let it go down to the dogs. Let's stand up.
Yeah.
Guys, young people out there, it's your time. Don't wait to be elected. Elect yourselves.
Fact. Yo. I've got so much to add, but yazi nje so umuntu ozakhuphukelwe high la. So I'm a non-racialist.
Sure.
That video, I made 2 videos about government employees and their inefficiency and their rudeness and their laziness. Had a lot of new white followers on my social media pages because they loved it.
They loved you talking about being a non-racialist.
No, they love me speaking out to government employees.
Oh, okay. Oh, you mean the same video? Yeah.
Yeah. I had a lot of black, colored Indian people DMing me as well, thanking me for that video. We've got obviously a very deep, dark history as Abantu Abamnyama in this country. And this racial thing, for the white people who watch our podcast, when you hear black people speaking about racism and black. And then you guys are like, ah, come on, apartheid is over, let it go. We didn't introduce it. Black people didn't introduce and say, you're white and we're black. It's evil white people that brought it here. But what's important for people to understand, and I had these conversations with some of the white people that engaged me. A lot of politicians also hit me up via my DMs to discuss that video. The bulk of white people are just as ignorant and as stupid and as useless as the rest of us as normal black people. They are a function of their leadership. The same way that we look at the apartheid government as being oppressive is the same way that white people look at the ANC government and they look at you as a normal black person and say, it's because of you we have potholes and corruption and what. And you're like, but it's not me, it's the ANC. Like, you BEE. And you're like, Mlungu ngiyahlupheka. I'm poor. What do you mean? So you realize the poor whites, Indians, coloreds, blacks, and the middle class, they're just zombies for the elite, the ruling class. And like I said, rich whites from colonization, the British, the apartheid government, Afrikaans people, and then it seems a black elite group with the ANC, they're all just working together. They all just like, let us in. The Afrikaners said to the British, let us in. They let the guys in. Kwafika Rupert and all these new billionaires. And then the ANC guys and them said, let us in. But it seems the people at the bottom, obviously white people have a privilege. That's a fact. It's a privilege because of. It's the same way I could say the Mutsipes and the Mandelas have a privilege because of their ancestors. But you can't say all black people are privileged because of them. Nabo and Gamla feel the same. There's a lot of white nurses, cops, traffic cops, teachers, normal people. And they are hungry. I can see it now. I saw it in signs with Omusi Maimani. I see it with Herman Mashaba. They are hungry for black leadership. They say these things, and sometimes I don't even know if they're genuine or whatever, but they say these things like, Penuel, if you ran for president, I'd vote for you. Because they're also tired. They can see some of the rubbish happening out there. And they're waiting for someone to solve the problems. I think we may have discussed this on this platform. And it's a fact. The white apartheid government built infrastructure for 8 to 10% of the population. 10% of the population. What will need to happen for us and other young people coming is to understand that if the Eskom, Sasol, SAA, Telkom, whatever, was built for a 10%, it's up to us to now build for the 90%. What does that mean? It means we need to build 9 more Escoms. And they're going to have alternative energy. One Eskom is going to be run on nuclear, one on solar, one on hydro. There's going to be however many telecoms. We need to build more Vodacoms and MTNs and Cell Cs. We need to build more Mediclinics. We need to build more suburbs. We can't all want to be in Bryanston. It wasn't built for us, guys. Go and find land out there. Orania is a cute little story, but forget Orania. Go and find a piece of land and build your own Sandton. Sandton used to be a farm. Sun City used to be empty. Las Vegas, Nevada, that was desert. Nothing there. So there's nothing stopping us from building our own cities. Oh, Ramaphosa speak about smart cities. But we can go out there and actually build real cities and build our own Escoms.
Go ahead.
We have the technology in the world to create these things. And some of them are legislated monopolies. Like Eskom is a legislated monopoly. That's rubbish. A mining charter is controlled by... Hey, fuck all of that. That's why I'm saying we must dismantle our constitution, about law. No, but the law say... Fuck the law if it's not serving the people. We want to build. We're going to act like we're new colonizers. I've just arrived in Kandla. I've just arrived in Nyanga in Cape Town. I've just arrived in Kuruman. As if I'm a colonizer. I'm new here. Can we build our own Eskom here? Can we build our own SABC? Can we build our own what? Can we set up something like the Broederbond and raise funds and begin mining? No, but the laws, we will fight whoever we need to fight to make sure that these things pass. And that's going to be the challenge for us. And we'll do it here. We'll do it on the African continent. I mean, when you speak about minerals, you speak in the Democratic Republic of the Congo.
Yeah.
Someone needs to go and infiltrate that place.
Yeah.
And Nigeria, of course. We need to speak about Sudan and Angola. We need to do it on the continent. The Asians, the Chinese in particular, the Americans, the Europeans. And I'm saying this because I've spoken to white people in South Africa. A lot of them are waiting for us. You look at Trevor Noah and how many fans he has around the world who have been yearning for his voice. You look at how many people have been waiting for Black Coffee's music around the world. They were waiting. How many normal human beings around the world were waiting for Nelson Mandela to exist, to be the benchmark for leadership? So there are people literally waiting for us to be like, I'm in China, but I need you. Because maybe Xi Jinping is great, maybe Umar was great in China, but I'm waiting for a young black girl in South Africa or a young Indian girl in South Africa to ignite the world. I've said before, the wealthiest doctor in the world, Patrick Soon-Shiong, was from Port Elizabeth, Gqeberha. He's a Chinese guy, but he's a South African. The world needed him for the greatness that he became. America needed Elon Musk. They wouldn't have the rockets that they said if it wasn't for him. So there are people waiting for us. It's really as simple as that. And if we don't pick up here and be like, okay, siyabonga omkhulu no gogo, izinto abasenzela zona, that was their fight. Archive that, learn from it, bring it up every now and then as a lesson, but then say, guys, what is our legacy? I saw the celebrities tweeting Elon Musk, please come fix Eskom. It was funny, but it was also pathetic. We've got the engineers in this country that can build Eskom. How do we capacitate them? How do we find young, energetic engineers in this country and then capacitate them like a Theo, like a Likau, like a whoever else, like a DJ Sbu with Timo Fire? How do we capacitate you to build an Eskom, to build electric cars, to build a new cell phone network, to build Wi-Fi systems and fiber, to build our own Facebook and YouTube and Google? There's so much that hasn't been explored on the continent because all of us worship and wait for politicians who also then worship and wait for the United Nations and the people that run the world. It's us, guys. We can be our own Bill Gates. We can have our own Mhlonyanes and whatever the case may be. So for me, I don't know, man. Like you said, I'm excited and I'm optimistic. And I hope when we speak, Tupac Shakur said, I may not change the world, but I know that I will spark the brain that changes the world. And maybe some of our voices just passing that on and saying, I don't make beverages, I don't make sneakers, I'm not uMaxhosa, I'm not uGogo Dineo, I'm not uMkhulu Nsingiza, but I will be a culmination and an accumulation of some of their inspiration and their knowledge. And I will speak truth to that and get as many kids as possible, wherever they may be, to wake up and be like, why not me? Why can't I be Kanye West? Why can't Focalistic be the next Michael Jackson? Why can't Uthandiswa Mazwai be bigger than Beyonce? Bigger than Madonna? What makes LeBron James bigger than Usia Kolisi? Kolisi is just Intwana, that's Ekasi, Gqeberha. And he's become one of the biggest brands in the world. Why not me? What am I scared of? Nothing. So it's just up to me to wake up and be like, after listening to you, Virtual Mkhukhu and the Hustlers Corner, I woke up and I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to do it. And nothing's going to stop me because all the people that I admire, Bono, Nelson Mandela, they were kids just like me at some point. Or Mamuini. She was just a fly chick at some point, slaying. And she was like, no, I'm going to lead. My husband has been jailed. The country's in turmoil. Our people are oppressed. I'm a woman. Ooh, I've got boobs and a vagina. But I have the capability to do whatever the fuck these men and other men in the world have done. And just in closing for me, Muammar Gaddafi wanted a united Africa and an African currency. Don't wait for the ANC or the African Union or Julius Malema and the Pan-African. Don't wait for them. Do it. Create a platform somewhere and be like, guys, I want to build an African currency. Create Jabesi. Can build an African coin, crypto, and say I'm carrying on with the legacy of Muammar Gaddafi. Someone can say this was Thomas Sankara, this is what he was doing. We're going to carry on with Sankara's work and build sankara.org and go around the entire continent, go around the whole world and say, no, we're spreading the message of Sankara. We're spreading the message of Che Guevara. There's nothing stopping us from... Stop idolizing these people as... They gave us a blueprint and they took the fight up to a point. They're not coming back. They were killed. Number one, I hope at some point their deaths would be avenged. Number two, we need to carry on with the fight. Uplays was recently found guilty of murdering Thomas Sankara with some other guys, sentenced to, I think, a lifetime in jail. He just arrived last week in Burkina Faso and he was welcomed with the red carpet and applause. I don't know what the fuck's happening. All I know is we're here now. We have an ability to do something. And it's up to us to fuck up and ignite the world and become great.
I think out of today's episode, the lesson is lead. Young people, take charge. Stand up, don't wait to be elected. Elect yourselves and lead. Do your thing. It's your time right now. You guys are leading in comedy. You guys are doing skits on social media. You guys are acting. You guys are making us laugh. You guys are teaching us things about property, real estate on TikTok. You guys are talking about personal development. Some of you guys are life coaches. There's so many young, great black people out there. There's so many young, bright minds out there. And the more you dig, the more you actually see there's more. There's a lot.
Crazy.
That's flipping a lot,
It's crazy.
bro. And I kind of feel young people are waiting for politicians to lead us. Clearly, we're going to be waiting forever.
Yeah.
So it's your time. Guys, stand up. We've been leading since our youth, some of us. I started a record company, bro, at 21. I was 21.
Come on.
I might not have been, the best at I might not be the best musician, or I might not have been but I led musicians. The country will forever remember me as a music mogul. They'll forever remember me as a trailblazer pioneer. I came up with my own things.
Boom.
I was chucked out of the mainstream media. I was kicked to the curb. What MacG and Saul were saying on the previous episode last week, saying that they were sort of outside of this mainstream ecosystem. They were sort of kicked to the curb by the industry.
Yeah.
And then MacGyver started the podcast, and at some point he hit up Saul on Facebook because they had not been speaking for quite some time. But they had met at YFM. We all met at YFM from back in the day. And look at what they're doing today. They're leading in podcasting. But they didn't wait for anybody to... When MacGyver was starting that podcast, as I was saying to you earlier, that we were meant to start it together, I remember him moving with the equipment, bro. Holding it like this, and you can see how small MacGyver is. He used to carry that equipment into his korokoro, my man, and drive and interview these people, move. Nobody was paying him.
Yeah.
He did that consistently for 3 years before this thing could pop and blow up. But he decided that I'm going to lead. He's leading now in his own space. Are you leading in your space? What are you doing? Are you a teacher? Are you in science? Are you in coding? Do you love bicycles? Are you in skateboarding? Are you a dancer? Are you an intellectual? Are you a writer? Are you a soccer player? Are you a netball player? What are you good at? What is it that you can lead in? Lead. The time is now. There is no politician that's going to have to elect you, or some people that are going to have to elect you. We elected ourselves, and we chose to lead. Even when I got into the industry, I decided I'm going to lead.
Sure.
I'm not going to follow how everybody else is doing it. I'm going to go do my thing. When this year started even, I was like, okay, I'm going to focus on my podcast. I'm going to go grow my podcast. Today we're celebrating 100,000 subscribers.
Boom!
Because of you. Congratulations, bro. Thank you. Because of you.
Boom!
Congratulations, bro. Because of you guys.
Boom!
All of our supporters, hustlers, and squatters, thank you so much. It's been a great episode. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to start exploring some of the different packages that we have. If you think our content here adds value into your life, get into the R9.99 package. Subscribe. Give us that 10 Rand every month, because we're going to do the research here. We're going to do the work. We're going to come and give you dope content. Our content is dope.
Too dope.
I've always been like that, Penuel.
You've just been dope, Nje.
No,
Come on.
Dot nangendwangu.
Come on.
Nangisayishaya indwangu zizokutshela isibhayi. Dala ishaya indwangu le Grootman.
Sure.
Nano nje amajita yazi ukuthi angizirelaxele. Mara nangithanda ngayihlapha indwangu ngiroundisa amajita umqomo. Because ngiyazazi ukuthi nangithi into ngiyayenza.
Yeah.
And nangithi into ngizosucceed kuyo ngizosucceed. And that's my attitude, and that's me.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, if you guys consume this platform on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, Penuel should be inspiring you guys. I should be inspiring you guys. Justice should be inspiring you guys. The whole team, or this podcast, or Podcast and Chill, or Popcast, or the Illegal Podcast, or the Sobering Podcast, or Rian Blackstaff Podcast, or La Chief on TikTok, or La C's on his There's a lot of young people that are leading, that are doing their thing. When are you going to start it? When are you going to start waking up and start doing your own thing as well? The time is now, guys. The phones are there. The internet is there. Social media platforms are there. Finances are getting decentralized. There's cryptocurrencies right now. There's so much to learn. There's so much money to be made, even on the internet. We're not saying when people should lead, they must only lead in politics. No. You can change the world by just leading in your own space. Mark Zuckerberg changed the whole world by leading in his own space. I changed. South Africa and leading in my own space.
Yeah.
I'm one of the biggest voices that have been very loud about the entrepreneurship culture in this country. I will go down in the history books as one of the people that made entrepreneurship cool. Why? Because I chose to lead.
Nazo.
Ngagxekwa, ngathukwa, ngatshelwa nonsense. I was dragged. My brand was spoken nonsense off. People are telling me I'm selling poison. But today you go to each and every corner in South Africa uhlangana neMofire.
Come on, man.
For the rest of my life ngizoze ngibhode ngishiye nani ngizoze nife nishiye la.
Come on,
Ngihlale
man.
ndobele nibone emakhoneni. And you'll have a beautiful story to tell that we were there. We saw them when they started it. We were witnesses. But what were you doing? What were you doing? What will you do after this episode? We started from nothing, guys. We're celebrating 100,000 subscribers. Only the beginning. The quality is going to get better. The team is about to get better. We're going to get researchers. We're going to get producers. We're moving into our own studios in the next couple of months. We're going all the way to 1 million subscribers and even beyond. We're building a media platform here. This podcast is even going to give birth to a whole lot of other podcasts. The first one being Virtual Mkhukhu, which is going to be every Monday under the Hustlers Corner, under the leadership of this amazing man, Penuel, the Black Pen. We're going to have other podcasts that are coming in here. We're doing our thing. We're not waiting for anyone. We're not waiting for funding. It's not like we've got all the money in the world. Siyapatanisa kodwa kusalayo siyayenza lento and soyenza ngenkani. Danke san ngiyancane. Hambani no pressure, niphusheni, niphandeni. I'll see you on the next
Jesus,
episode.
no, before you close.
Okay,
yes,
close it,
this
close it.
this episode had a Holy Spirit
Yeah.
element. I felt it. I think I got a bit teary while you were speaking. I just want to thank a couple of people. When you were mentioning podcasts, Nkululeko on culture, shout out to Justice as well for the hookup for that.
That's my boy. Big up, by the way. Dope interview.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Everyone who hasn't seen it, please check my conversation with Nkululeko on culture. I want to thank all of the virtual squatters. I want to thank all of the hustlers that have been with Usbuda from the beginning, with Stefan, and also with Justice now. I want to thank the chillers, of course. I want to thank MacG and Sol. I want to thank all the podcasters, everyone in mainstream media who still hasn't been polluted and who actually cares about their craft and actually changing the country for the better. I want to thank every politician who's put their hand up to try and make this country better. I know some of us bash you at times, and I apologize for that. But if you are not part of the rot and you're doing your best, it means a lot to people like myself. Thank you to every teacher, nurse, police officer, traffic cop, every other public worker, every other person that works for a state-owned enterprise who actually cares about this country. Every retailer, umuntu osebenza KFC, osebenza Jet, osebenza Ackermans, Pep, ShopRite. If you're out there waking up every morning, I know it's tough, waking up every morning at 5, at 4, getting home late, not spending time with your kids. But I appreciate you, and we all appreciate you, and we all just need to do more. We all need to do more, and we need to remove the rot that is around us. And we maybe need to inspire some of the people around us to work harder as well. We're about to build one of the greatest nations on earth. And it's going to be us, and the future generations are going to speak about us like we were some type of aliens. So please keep it going. We see you. We appreciate you. And it means everything to us. Keep it going. Penuel, the Black Pen, and DJ Smoo on the Virtual Mkhukhu. We're out.
In closing it off, for all the hustlers out there or potential investors, you guys do know that I've been busy with a real estate project. We've got an estate that's coming up around Corner Bears, Nodier, and N14 off-ramp. Just not far from the Silver Star Casino, not far from the Cradle of Humankind, one off-ramp away from Lanseria Airport, not far from the Northgate Mall. It's a very, very prime place, just behind Reimsech. We bought ourselves 20-something hectares there, and our certifications are about to come out. I think it should be happening in the next few weeks.
Jeez.
And once we get our certifications, all of the people that bought land from our estate with our partnership with Ekasi Noble Properties, the value is going to start going up because the banks have already started speaking to us as well. And as our documentations come and a lot of people get their title deeds, those who are not blacklisted, then they'll be able to go get loans from the bank so they can come build their homes. And for those who don't know about the project, we're going to put the link in the description. Go to the Facebook page of a company called Ekasi Noble Properties. There are opportunities for land, and then you can build for yourself, or you can buy a building package and build your beautiful double story. You can build 1, 2, 3, or 4 bedrooms, just totally up to you. And if you're around the Randfontein area, we've got a development there, townhouse development with 30 units. that got sold out within a week.
Jeez.
When I advertised it in April. But a lot of people started complaining and saying, we are around Randfontein, we are looking, we're looking for similar opportunities. Any other opportunity, we've got some great news. There's a new one we're working on. It's called Green Hills in Randfontein. So if you're looking for investment opportunities in property, real estate, or purchasing land in Randfontein, there's Green Hills and there's Robin Park. And then around here by Bears Nodia, behind Iremseg, there's some great opportunities there for land or building packages. You can buy yourself a beautiful home there. I've got 10 stands in the area, and that's why I'm excited as the documentations come, because once I've got those 10 title deeds, I'm then going to be able to go to the bank so they borrow me money, and then I'm going to put up my structures, I'm going to rent out the property. So if you want to find out more information, click on the link in the description. It'll take you to Ekasi Noble Properties Facebook page. Go get in touch with them, go find out opportunities, the ones that are in Bears Nodia, opportunities that are in Randfontein. Get into your car, drive, go see their offices, go see the land, go see the opportunity. Ask whatever questions you want to ask. If you want to bring your lawyers, but there's opportunity. Guys, there's a lot of money to be made out there. Start removing this mindset or this narrative out of your mouth that keeps saying, yes, siyaz gyapeta. But stop saying that ngomlomo wakho. Cancel those types of things and start saying, inyuki paya, ngithola kanjani. Ama-opportunity akhona, ngiwathola kanjani. And start being solutions driven. We've started this platform so we can share information, we can educate, we can inspire, we can encourage people. It's an educational platform. But we took it upon ourselves to invest our own money, our own time, our own energy to put together a platform that we feel can be beneficial to some young people out there. That's why we're also saying, for those that feel they're getting value from the platform, they can afford 10 Rand every month to subscribe and become a part of the platform, do the same. If you're getting value from Podcast and Chill, do the same. Pay them 10 Rand every month. I pay them 100 Rand every month because I love the type of content I'm getting from them. I'd rather give my 100 Rand to them rather than giving my 100 Rand to some alcohol company. We love you guys. We'll see you in the next video.
100,000 subscribers!
Boom, 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 boom.
Come on!
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for 100,000 subscribers. We love you so much. We're looking forward to going to 1 million subscribers. Do you think we should throw a party or not yet?
Homegrown. I think the next time we go to Homegrown, let's celebrate 100,000 there.
Let's celebrate 100.
Yeah.
Should we celebrate it maybe in September when it's a bit warm? Yeah, because it's still a bit cold.
If it can coincide with African New Year, 23rd September.
That would be dope. Whoa. We go to Nzalo Elanga. We do our African New Year there.
Boom.
And then that weekend when we come back, we drop a dopest party at the farm
Let's do it.
to celebrate 100,000
Let's do it.
subscribers.
Let's do it.
It's possible, man.
Yeah,
I
let's
love
do
you
it.
guys. I'll see you on the next episode. Great idea. Let's do it.
Cheers.
Peace.
This is the Hustler's Corner.